Okay, hey guys, this is Emmanuel from Infinite Forex. So I dropped a video last week. I think it was on Monday. Yeah, Monday last week. So that one was on supporting resistance and trend lines for beginners. So I hope you guys watched that video and I hope it was helpful for you guys. So try to cover as much as possible on supporting resistance and trend lines. So yeah, let's just do a quick recap on the video I did last week. I actually talked about AUD USD. So like I was saying, if you guys didn't watch, just check it out. If you guys are not understanding where I'm coming from on AUD USD, just watch the previous video on my channel, and then you'll get to understand what exactly we're talking about on this pair. So what we're talking about is basically this retracement coming down to this area here, right? So we're expecting a bounce off this area, 61.8, intersecting with strong support level and an ascending trend line. So as soon as price reaches this level here, this is where I'll be looking to start buying. So I think I'm going to open about 2 to 3 tickets. So the first ticket I'll open it here. In fact, I'll open all 3 tickets in this region here. And then once we hit our first TP, which is this point here, right? This blue zone. I'm just trying to drag it across. So yeah, first TP I'll be targeting that level there, right? And then second TP I'll be targeting the previous high, which is this high over here, right? So that'll be my second TP. And then the third TP is going to be stretched out all the way to the top, which is our next level of major resistance. So let me just zoom out for you guys. So let me switch to the daily time frame, be easier to see here. So my final target will be this level here, which is the previous overall high, which is this point here, right? So I'll enter one ticket, right? I'll enter all 3 tickets. First ticket will close at this blue zone. Second ticket will close by this blue level here. And then the third ticket, I'll close it when it touches the previous major high. So those will be my targets on this setup so far. So just be eyeing it. I'll be looking to buy around this region here. So without any more said and done, let's get straight into today's topic, which will be market structure. So like I said, I won't be able to drop every single detail about market structure because all the details will be dropped in the course, right? So those that are interested in the course, like I said, DM me on Instagram. The link to my Instagram channel is in the description of this video. So for now, let's just get started with like the basics of market structure. So the thing with market structure is that it's a topic that is taken for granted by a lot of people. But I honestly feel like you shouldn't take it for granted. It's a very important topic because it's basically understanding the way the market moves, right? Like you can trade, yes, without understanding structure, but then it will make your trading so much better, right? It's This video is actually going to start off looking so simple and so easy, but then trust me, just keep watching to the end. It'll really help you out. So with market structure, right, there's 3 types of structure that the market follows, right? 3 only, just 3, which is your downtrend, your uptrend, and consolidation. So those are the 3 types of structure that the market follows. If it's not following any of, in fact, I can't even say if it's not following any of them because it does not move in any other way besides the 3 I've mentioned, right? So your downtrend is this basic movement, right? That the market will be forming lower lows and lower highs, right? So for those people that don't know what lower lows and lower highs are, like I'm just catering for those that might not know anything at all. If you're watching this video and you're new to Forex and you want to understand the basics of market structure, right? What a lower low and a lower high is basically these points here, right? These are the low points. This point here, this point, this point, and this point. So those are the low points, right? And then the high points are these points here. This one here, this one here, and that one there, right? So now I mean lower low and lower high, right? This will become a low. This is your low, right? And this is your high. Then this becomes a lower low. Why am I calling this a lower low? Because this low is lower than the previous low. This becomes a lower high because this high is lower than the previous high. And this becomes a lower low as well because this low is lower than the previous low, which is this low. And then lower high again because this high is lower than the previous high. So that's like the basic concept of your downtrend structure, right? So there is no downtrend without the structure being formed. If you're in a downtrend, the market has to be forming lower lows and lower highs, right? And then same thing goes for an uptrend, right? Uptrend is exact same thing, just opposite direction, right? So we have the market moving in this way, right? So if you're a clever guy, then you basically know what I'm going to say next. So the market consists of higher highs and higher lows. So these become the low points. This point here is your low, 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 right? And then this becomes your high, high, high. So why we say high highs and high lows is because this will be your first high, this will be your first low, right? And this becomes a higher high because this high is higher than the previous high. And this becomes a higher low because this low is higher than the previous low. Same thing, higher high, higher low, because this high is higher than this high, and this low is higher than this low. So that's the first two that I mentioned at the beginning, because I said there were three, right? So downward structure, upward structure, and then consolidation, which is your sideways movement, right? So your sideways movement now becomes something like this, right? So we have equal lows and equal highs being formed in the market. So this becomes your high, 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 then low, 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 right? So we're forming equal highs and equal lows. So the market is not moving in an uptrend and it's not moving in a downtrend. So that becomes a consolidation, right? So now that we've talked about the three types of structure, right? Now we get into a way to take advantage of these three types of structure, right? This is where a lot of people get it confused, right? Because they just think market structure is all about knowing whether it's an uptrend, downtrend, or consolidation, right? But now there's a way to use this information to your advantage, right? So what I mean by using this information to advantage, right? Let's say the market is moving in a downtrend situation like this, right? Performing lower lows and lower high, lower low, I mean lower high, lower low, right? So in a downtrend initially, right? So lower lows, lower highs. So remember what I said. In order for us to have a downtrend, for it to be a downtrend, we need lower lows and lower highs. If something else occurs, then we're no more in a downtrend, right? So how we take advantage of this is when we have a situation where the market breaks the previous high, right? So now this is what you call broken market structure because the market is broken. Let me just use a horizontal line instead. So structure has been broken because the market broke this level here, which is your previous high, right? So now we've broken downwards structure. So when we've broken downward structure, we know that the downtrend is over and we're looking for something else, right? Which is now an uptrend. It's the beginning of a new uptrend. So I hope you guys are following, right? And then now 90% of the times this occurs, there's a retest. Prices most likely gonna come retest and then keep moving. Keep moving in its initial direction. So why is there a retest 90% of the time? Because now the downtrend is over, right? Because we broke structure here. We broke the previous high, right? So, like I said, 90% of the times there's a retest. Right? So why is this retest occurring? Because now that we're in an uptrend, we can't just keep shooting up. I don't know if you get the sense. We have to pull back to form the higher low, which is what we have in an uptrend. So the higher low has to be formed before the market keeps on going upwards. So when structure breaks, we simply wait for a retest for the market to form the higher low. Then we enter our buys from this level here. And then your target would be, first target would be the previous high, which is this point here, and then on and on and on. So same thing, opposite direction when you're moving in a downtrend, right? So if you're moving in a downtrend, in an uptrend, because right now we just give an example of a break of structure to the upside. right? So now we have breaks of structure to the downside as well, where the market will be moving in this manner here. Oh, wait, I'm actually drawing something for the. I'm doing the same thing again. Okay, where the market will be moving like this, right? So forming higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, another higher low, then another higher high, right? So which becomes your previous high? This now becomes your what? So this now becomes your previous low, this level here. Why is it not selecting? Okay, there we go. So this now becomes your previous low, right? So for structure to be broken, we need to break that previous low. So we need in the market to do this, come and break. And like I said, 90% of the time there's a retest, so the market will go retest and then follow in the new trend that it wants to continue with, right? So why is there a retest as well? Same thing, right? We broke structure, performing higher highs, high lows, and all of a sudden we came through with a lower low, right? So a lower high has to be formed in order for the new downtrend to be valid. So we wait for our retest, which will be the lower high. Then we enter ourselves from this level here. Then we ride the trend downwards, right? So this actually helps because you're now entering the trade. You're hopping onto the trend when it's just beginning. Unlike waiting for confirmation to be like, you're waiting for it to trend a bit and then you start entering trades maybe around this area here. So knowing your structure actually helps you identify a trend when it's just beginning. Like say you're in an uptrend and then now the market is changing to go into a downtrend. You are aware of this if you are monitoring your structure very well. So now the last method of structure that we'll talk about is consolidation, right? Let me just delete this stuff. So if you're a clever person, right, and you've been understanding what's been going on, then you'd understand. Then you'd know what we're getting into next, right? So with consolidation, right, we can also take advantage of breaks of structure in consolidation, right? So the market will be consolidation, forming equal highs and equal lows, right? So this becomes your previous low, and this will become your previous high, right? So now if the market, okay, let's just label it. Let's just draw a line to make sure that you see what exactly we're talking about. So this becomes your previous low, right? And that also becomes your previous high. So now if the market goes and decides to break this level, right? Like I said, what happens most of the time? 90% of the time a retest will come through and then the market will continue with its initial downward trend, right? Because market structure has been broken to the downside, right? So this will be your break of structure. This level here will be your break of structure. So why do you have a retest as well? We have a retest because now market is broken, structure has been broken to the downside, right? So now we're in a downtrend. So what are we looking for? A lower high to be formed, which is this point over here, right? So a retest has to occur for the lower high to come through, and then we can continue with our what? With our downtrend. So we'll be entering our positions here as well. Same thing, opposite direction, right? Your previous high is this level here, right? So in order for structure to be considered broken, right, we have to break this previous high, come down to retest to form a higher low, and then price will keep moving in upwards direction. So I hope you guys are understanding so far, right? So price has to break this level here, retest to form the higher low, and then we keep on moving upwards, right? So now let's go and look at an example, like a live example on the charts, right? So I think we'll go to gold, make the chart visible. So if we zoom out, right, if we zoom out, here what we'll see, right, is that the market, okay, let's start from this area here, right? So the market was forming lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, then an equal low, right? Then what happened? All of a sudden we made a higher high. Then what happened here? We got our retest, market goes down a bit, then shoots back up. So our end should have been around this level here, this area here. Get it? Sometimes the market won't retrace all the way to the bottom, they then go up. They have a minor retracement and then go up. But then overall, there's always a retracement. So once you break structure, right, be looking for a perfect opportunity to enter your buy setup before breaking structure to the upside. Wait for the retest and then enter, because there's most likely going to be a retest after a break of structure, right? Same thing here. With our lower low being formed, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then what happens? Higher high. So I'm expecting the market to pull down at a certain point. Okay, although gold is a tricky pair. We can't exactly start selling at this point here. So we'd have to wait. I'm honestly gonna wait for the retest for us to form the higher low, and then I'll look for my buys to continue the uptrend, right? So we're forming a downtrend, finally broke structure, wait for your retest, then enter your buy, right? So right now we looked at examples of structure being broken to the upside, right? So let's look for breaks of structure to the upside, right? Same thing here. Market started here, right? Higher high, higher low, right? Then we start forming equal highs, equal highs, equal highs, right? Then all of a sudden, we had a break of structure here, right? Because this will be our previous low, right? Break of structure, retest, and we start selling. So I hope you guys are understanding the basic understanding of market structure, right? So I think that's all for today's video, and yeah, I'll be dropping another video on Monday. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put a vote on Instagram with 2 topics, and then you decide which topic you want me to make the video on. So I think next week's video, I'll put a poll on Instagram, so you guys can choose between Fibonacci and let me think of the next topic. What topic now? Okay, now you guys should actually DM me with suggestions for the next video, right? So Fibs is one of the topics because people have been avoiding Fibonacci. So you, it's either Fibs and then give me suggestions on the next topic. So if you want to give me suggestions, like I said, the link to my Instagram is in the description of this video. So just click there, DM me with any suggestions for the next video, and then we'll make a poll with both topics, and then people can select which topics they want the video to be on. So anyways, that's it from me. You guys can like this video if it was helpful to you, and subscribe to the channel so that you have regular reminders of when I actually post videos. But I think I'll be posting either every Monday, but the days can change, so it's best to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can be notified as soon as I post a video. So